Well, thanks for joining us on the news this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. We'll begin in the Vatican, where the body of Pope Francis is now lying in state in St. Peter's Basilica. It will remain there for 3 days until his funeral on Saturday, which is expected to be attended by world leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump. His body was transferred to the Basilica in a procession earlier today and was followed by a service led by Kevin Joseph Farrell, the cardinal tasked with making arrangements for the Pope's funeral and the conclave in the weeks ahead. Pope Francis's coffin was laid at the altar of the Confession, a sacred space above the tomb of St. Peter, the first Pope. Cardinals in the Basilica have approached the coffin in pairs to pay their respects before members of the public began to file past the coffin and pay their homage. The Basilica opened to the public at 11 a.m. local time today and will remain open until midnight. On Thursday and Friday, it will open at 7 a.m. and close at midnight. Before his death, Pope Francis scaled down his funeral rites, doing away with the tradition of having 3 coffins of cypress, lead, and oak. 18 Africans are among 135 cardinals to elect the next pope. In the meantime, security is tight in the heart of Rome as preparations continue for what is expected to be one of the largest religious gatherings in recent years. With the death of Pope Francis, crowds of mourners and pilgrims are arriving from all corners of the world to pay their final respects. The Vatican has become a center of quiet reflection and prayer, but also of intense activities as the city braces for the funeral of the late pontiff. Italian authorities have increased surveillance and deployed additional security personnel around key locations, including St. Peter's Basilica and public transport hubs. As the Vatican finalizes logistics for the funeral, global leaders and dignitaries are also expected to attend, turning the event into both a spiritual and diplomatic gathering. For the faithful, it's a time of grief, reverence, and gratitude. And for the city of Rome, it's a moment to honor a man many called the People's Pope. Back here in Lagos State, a solemn mass is being held at the Holy Cross Cathedral for the repose of the soul of Pope Francis, who served as the spiritual leader of the Catholic Church for 12 years. All priests under the Archdiocese of Lagos are present for the liturgy, joined by parishioners from across the Archdiocese in what many describe as an act of love and devotion to the late pontiff. The Mass takes place during the octave of Easter, a period in which the Church continues to celebrate the joy of the resurrection. Still, today's liturgy carries a special solemnity as Pope Francis is remembered in the intercession for the dead as instructed by the Church. It's a moment of mourning and reflection, but also one of thanksgiving as the faithful honor the memory of the man they called the Vicar of Christ on earth.